The Kansas City Chiefs are, and stop me if you knew this already, successful. They're good at football. And as one would assume is the case with any good football team, there are bound to be several places where there are training camp battles for playing time during the regular season this year. Now, we've talked about those struggles at the wide receiver position. We've talked about the number 2 cornerback spot. We've talked about the left tackle spot. We've talked about the defensive tackle spot. We've talked about stuff all over the field, but Lee Olazak, in an article from Arrowhead Addict, has a take on, in an article titled, 3 Chiefs players who need to show off at minicamp, has an idea about 3 different players in, I would say, deep depth chart players that need to show up or ship out. And we're going to go one by one through them with a small blurb from the article. The article itself is definitely worth checking out. But I have a little bit of... we will go over parts where I take a bit of umbrage with the analysis given. I agree on all 3 points, by the way, but I disagree a little bit with each of the 3 conclusions. Now, the first player up is Lucas Niang, and the blurb from the article reads as such. Niang still has a good shot to make the team as a backup option, but he's going to need to show those same flashes that made him a 3rd-round pick 4 years ago. He's running out of time to prove his worth. Absolutely, I agree. Lucas Niang is, in my opinion, not going to be a Kansas City Chief in the 2024 NFL season. I think that he has exhausted those opportunities in Kansas City, but the NFL is a place where offensive linemen always have a home, always have a taker. I know that I have made this comparison no fewer than 1,000 times here on the channel, but Yasir Durant was an undrafted rookie free agent for the Kansas City Chiefs out of Missouri. Now, the one big difference between Yasir Durant and Lucas Niang, based on what I'm going to say in Yasir Durant's favor, is that Yasir Durant, at the time he was traded, was still 22 years old. That said, all he had proven in the NFL at the time he was traded is that he played in 11 games, he started 1 game, he had 91 offensive snaps played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he had 58 special teams played for the Kansas City Chiefs. Brett Veach was able to flip that performance into a 7th-round pick from the New England Patriots. Lucas Niang, in his 3 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs, technically 4, as a not rookie, in his first season in the NFL, he played 12 games with 9 starts, 525 snaps, and 47 special team snaps. His first season in the NFL, absolutely dwarfs, which is ironic considering Yasir Durant was 6'7", I believe. 6'7", 333. Yasir Durant's 1 season in the NFL before being traded. Now, after that, it gets on the skids. In 2022, he played in 7 games with 0 starts, 9 offensive snaps, and 35 special teams snaps. And then last season, he appeared in 14 games with 0 starts. He played 58 offensive snaps and 60 special team snaps. Another mysterious 58 that pops up during last season. Right here. Lucas Niang, which I think obviously means that the Kansas City Chiefs will be able to flip Lucas Niang for a top 10 pick in the NFL draft because the juju is just too much. I believe Lucas Niang may be a tradable asset depending on how much shine he gets in the preseason. It's not going to be for much. It might even have to be a player-for-player swap. Ideally, what you would get for Lucas Niang is the exact same thing you got for Yasir Durant. You would hope to be able to get a 7th-round pick out of an offensive player that played just 58 snaps for you last season. Here's the thing. Even last year, bad season, his numbers are approaching the numbers played by Yasir Durant. He appeared in 14 games compared to the 11 for Yasir Durant, 0 starts compared to Yasir Durant's 1, 58 offensive snaps compared to the 91 by Yasir Durant, 60 special teams snaps compared to the 58 by Yasir Durant. Now, he's 25, so he does not have the 22-year-old bluster on him. He is a little bit... there is a more definitive ceiling on him. I can see what teams would have looked at Yasir Durant and thought. Yasir Durant looked like he could have definitely been he didn't play in the NFL last year, but he played in the NFL through 2022. He was a Saint, I believe, after a Patriot. But Lucas Niang's upside might be a little more limited than that. I thought that in his time in 2021, he really moved well. He garnered the dancing bear moniker, which what that means, if you haven't heard me say it before, means I have no idea how those little legs move that big belly around like that, but it works. That's what dancing bear means. But he was far from perfect, but he was effective. So I thought that he had the chance to grow into a starter in the NFL. Perhaps he still does. The second name on that list is Irv Smith Jr. What an unfortunate thing for Irv Smith Jr. that Jared Wiley fell to the 4th round. The blurb in accordance with Irv Smith Jr. is, now Smith is on his 3rd team in 3 years, but it's not going to be a cakewalk for him to make the roster. Not only is Kelsey ahead of him on the depth chart, but Noah Gray and 4th-round rookie draft pick Jared Wiley will likely be in front of him as well. Now, very true. This is undoubtedly true. I have a slightly different opinion on this. Is it possible that Irv Smith doesn't make the Kansas City Chiefs team in 2024? Absolutely. Is it possible that they don't keep him around for the practice squad? Sure, yeah, no, that might happen. I think something is being undersold every time the specter of Irv Smith is incited. Maybe it's Noah Gray who's in trouble. Maybe Irv Smith is brought in because they have a lot of similar tools. They do a lot of similar things on the football field. They have a lot of similar capabilities. Maybe Jared Wiley was not drafted in order to push Irv Smith off of the bottom end of the roster. Maybe Irv Smith was brought in order that Noah Gray understands, hey, it's time to take a step forward. I guess I should just clarify, made endless fun of Sky Moore for the fact that he had a rookie season and a sophomore campaign in the NFL that are essentially the exact same season. That didn't happen for Noah Gray. As a rookie, he had only 7 receptions for 36 yards and a touchdown. However, in his sophomore campaign, he caught 28 passes for 299 yards and a touchdown. And in his 3rd season in the NFL, he caught 28 passes for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sky Moore is young for being a wide receiver in the NFL. He was drafted exceptionally young. He could still be learning the position. He could still be growing into his body. He could just not know what it means to be a wide receiver in the NFL to this point. It used to be that basically it was your third season as a wide receiver in the NFL that people said, okay, this is what this guy is. It's the third season that you find out what a wide receiver really is going to be. That has gone a little bit by the wayside, but wide receivers struggle as youngsters in the Andy Reid offense, often times. Could it be that we see a third-year breakout with Sky Moore? It's possible. Is it possible that we see a fourth-year breakout for Noah Gray, this being his contract season? This is the final year of his rookie deal. I think that is less likely than a breakout by Sky Moore. Perhaps Irv Smith Jr. was brought in order that Noah Gray shape up or ship out. The third name on this list is Deon Bush. The corresponding quote, not only does Kansas City have Hicks at the position, but there's also Justin Reed, Brian Cook, and Shamari Connor ahead of Bush on the depth chart. Bush has proven to be a solid special teams contributor for the Chiefs, and maybe that helps him stick around on the roster, but he's definitely going to have to stand out in a positive way this summer if he wants to for sure make this team. Here is my quibble with this. We are listing Hicks, Justin Reed, Brian Cook, and Shamari Connor. I do not believe any of those are the real replacement for Deon Bush. Deon Bush, not a safety. Deon Bush is a special teams guy and a quote-unquote defensive back. Now, I understand, yeah, he's a safety, really, but not really. He's a special teams guy. He's kind of a glue guy. I think the real replacement for him might be Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph is 6'1", 192. Deon Bush is 6 foot 200. Kelvin Joseph, however, ran a 4.34 40-yard dash compared to Deon Bush's 4.64. They have similar explosive numbers as well, as Kelvin Joseph had a 35-inch vertical and Deon Bush had a 36-inch vertical. Neither of those numbers are particularly compelling for a defensive back. Kelvin Joseph has struggled in his time in the NFL thus far. It may be time for Kelvin Joseph to come to terms with the fact maybe you're not a corner. Maybe you're not a safety. You might be one of these special teams kind of guys. And if nothing else, if you are in Kelvin Joseph's position, you have to understand that making your way on special teams will extend the tightrope that you were walking in the NFL, so that maybe when you emerge on the other side, you were able to set your feet firmly upon the firmament of being an actual corner. Maybe it just takes you a few more seasons to learn what it means to be a cornerback in the NFL. There's a chance that Kelvin Joseph is actually still a position player in the NFL and is not just a special teamer. But when you're looking at special teamers, so there's not a whole lot of the shuttle times that are all that applicable to special teams. You want straight line speed, you want explosiveness, you want a little bit of size so that you can't get taken out by somebody else's linebackers, halfbacks, fourth halfback, second fullback, whatever it is that's out there playing special teams. He's taller than Deon Bush. He's 8 pounds lighter, but that's not a terrible amount. He runs 3/10 faster on the 40-yard dash than Deon Bush, and he has a slightly worse vertical leap. That is all I have for this video, guys. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on the channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.